standing pieces from Waterfalls. Waterfalls. Dina dialogue on its side, speech taken from this house, constantly this house. An eye gone out along, an eye from the hair's hue jest, wildered slant, scrawled urtish, looping medal and holy eye of iety, eye of skull in her lap, most bit and chant of sobs, do bleed and drip and drench and gouge. Nothing to ocean the lips but roots eroded acume, in tuppences shoved on the moon's lastingness and passing as a whisper, eyed as a whisper. Yes, the sheer raw going hungry used wail our slaughtered breath, could only whisper, yelled it all out, pale skeletal abodes repair, and with its razoring came that cold leaning, bleeding, water falling. Once though she rising, no move, I said animals, shuddered up to the thump, 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 numb castles, spancelled willow, acoustic locutions drizzled, white plurals leaping them, selves so often battered, so torso gapped, so in it, reaving, rearing, ribbons, to think of her diphthongs sundering, condemned. Are you feathers, multiple and endless, pitch smeared shoulderways, raven, took it from, took it back. Can you make out that now, the roped air I sighed with, yearsed, notion of a step, numb and shaky gown, seclusioning twilight, won't bow the knee, won't scrape the ground. So it was grief of the keen's tumulary plucking threshold, hurled, hooved, so teeing, ribs quick shadowing, elbow of map, smeared face or a water, dwell frosy rag or two tendrils, stick penny glitter, stems in the day, 7th of May, lapwing sea from other, fasting on the doorstep, at whose door snowly that of chant, as she enters the 7th page. The pauses are as vital. Sun tattoo, womb's leaf, supping. That bread should be. Shgebalim, Shgebredne, Shgebarion, Shgiba, Pushgebrean. Low ground, long black crape rolled in the mouth, threshing, gleam and misty blood dripping, so many red threads. The maps are become howd soak. What hacked, what shatters, round, round as an O's hoop, scouring vowels. My hand, his, rounds, rosary buckled, saying decades, shone blue, going up to the small handy little farm, the father's house, every stone bled, run through consonant of hearth, dead twigs, air uneven, armfuls left standing, ash it is of an age with the house. Its knee-deep unbroken singing, its ached heart's umbilicus chirruping, that shielding ash of memory bleeding, seesaw fearments, eared, eyed, bow siblings of no fixed song, scattered anywhere but I, half starved, half clothed, half eaten by half any speech, half any rip in the sky's blue mantling rag for an O, dragged out of their stairs, their own filthy rots hanging, scream sticks, white skull over bone, seeing it over. Lapwings take my cold piping, ill, ailed, iller, illed, shrap and feral toolings, sings, why scarlet uncoiling, was it sea railers, skulls red dicing, entrail, here entrails, asks she in of axe. Where for the axe if I've unsinging not sound no, neither going about of a story or shows that I to do I, neither assimilated nor middle of no tunes keeping me unsteady, blood leaks, rackety plume never heard, seeing eye of the story counts, yet it is tilted, rigged, dragging at the hemorrhage of uns, my body, sever, who shall she see, skulls kinked out in the rain, and back on the wind would come the tottering twist, stank, bone jointed, retwining its own circle, what way a horse can fall, this many, the fitness of names, spittle in a crock, recarving the spells, so many's red loud ear, red hooves, ruby live beaten, things soft red south so, my belly, my throat, six thundering heap, a crimson talking backwards, gripping for a way against the abscessed cottage, struggling with sun pulled up, few scrapes of the shovel, searching in our soils the lot of long silent letters, searching, peeling it off the rended spine, severed, laid bare the narrative eye singing, wire nettle in the mouth, unevenly and acute, the jagged narrow, vertical roofed over with sticks and wild cresses, drawing stones all day on a few ribs to the moon, my guts trail out and my eyes and the looks are thronging wet, magpies' black feet slap their brink on the stems, not a ground I tread, cavity sippling, the blight, the distemper, the whole families without a trace, my dealt, it occurs, the unstory that dread should be, songs bleeding, wove, never more crows, scraping, centuries, a century's hard plain howl, their kids leaping the house, askance, stalking chieftain's bird, that's how we spelled back in I, beast, moan, broached breaths, cold straw, little boats, many a one out on the hills in exact shimmer, their shoulder and drank, drove air, raven, ravening, ravenous, ravine, remnants, hair going up, down, buds, gone so, rocks to us. Finish with winter ceremony. Down of moon, deeply along, hairs going so fluent. QU about 8 or 10 letter I can't pronounce, stretching, gone on to sedulous, what the dandelion earths and all rising, humming over the season we weep in. All the letters S-U-N, some double the S, S's of the word sun, sheer spurted, all seeing seas, colt's foot, yellow goodness, lovely bit of sun, soul shone out. Did you see tumbled silent studs of crow, hovering ox red alder lake of small birds, her face is black feather? She had 7 sons. It begins with her by the door there to the mountains. They left from here, all their births laid to her, as I, bundle most infant, as I, curled in the trickling scald they moved upon, once upon Thorn Hill, in the townland of Corra, off the marsh road out of Skibbereen, in the much invaded and ancient province of Munster, province of Anya, pre-Celtic sun goddess, Anya of the banshee, Anya of music and harp and song and poetry. Once upon there was a woman once living, tall in her long black cloak and soot black bonnet was the way she used to go, carrying the lantern over feathers, feather dipping feet, feast a few fit little dances. She did. Once the father was going up to the quarry over 6 foot, the pool, where he'd quarried the blue stone for the house, and she, shivering, we all dead, was gone in. Couldn't put it out of her, that doing away, not once but many times, and only for he pulling her back she'd be. I heard the geese pleat lake white feathered drools of oval twist and sudden abject tenure. I'd seen the grainy one shuffling on in the broken dragging rain shuttered steep, without mourning or ceremony, burying on. And in the sky my father reaping the corn, my mother behind piling and binding, spelling, I huge black and white magpie heart gown, magpie heart work, magpie heart rise, foide cush, rise, words of every. Nearly all dead or broken, the small flock purpling to splattered penannular shreds as I unpeeled them from the wire they had stuttered into. And as I brought water and hummed them back into themselves with all my heart, each bird, each body began to stir from its shine-leaned ruin, its festering tattered cage, into its flighting dwell, its gooseness. What ash tree? She'd be drowning, be great crouch cuckoo peeps watering pitch black blackened, the furlful sack torrents bending drizzle. Mouth of dog, child's head, I said over, hadn't it? Impulse of feather, feathering and stars, stag erring at rest, convulse of bloodless failing. Lit, fingers in behind eye gape, earlier funerary driving sky, white bushes, blue spooling, bellow, browed rising lip, rinsed plains. I rocked and fell to leafing, the crossing of rushes and more blood bled until it was her word stroked on a branch. Heartbeats encountering, kind of singing. Bare like basket from battle, beginnish. Is that the speech of her ropes hutted a still rioted clawing leaf? Is that the heart of her lifting as in azure's conching sprint? Assemble full and differ, blessed tint, tinging flood made high, I drowned a paper butterfly inside me, dead swirl of sticks, the ravens let fall, pelting, clip, 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 the hooves, did you know the air, the wash of hazel mapped on the swing of her sight? I used to see my mother clawing up the sides of the land, heron burdocks, her embraces and fevers, arched, oh, flooded, O stones, overt and severe, loop of error, splitting the ears, bright sobbing, frayed, puckered, incurable, rotting and idiot, with lock and webbed fork, brown frieze grey linen, tandem surely, shawl ravens, pebblest of skeleton, such as I, what was thrown alive on a slope. Eyelid of sorts, kin in indling ing hawked, when hen in all stammers fair seep, and fix out every tiara, lightning tug of the air, over and keened out a season, O's, mouth, oh. Scattering quenched fire, heart into water. She cursed and sank, bird-headed birds were to settle and fasten them the last white ashes round her neck. Salving of the sticks, laters, is dead, new afloat. Whose own corpse, whose would carry it, ashingly cloak and skull, whose own shouldering rain ran as in accordion birthing, whose own gaunting song, better bevulging, plucked as far as could, so nearly severed can't swim, whose would blunt rejoice, who lips the spreading fingers at its high feasting throat, whose own story howls and sobs the bleeded limbics asunder, whose own story shook the plurals, shook the dents, shook the brinks in blunder. Showering bare earth, unmarked, purpling dead, stumbling over. The father used to give the stone a wash so it shone from the hill white for miles around. Walls thick as ever, the roof, the door, gone after them. Great sweep of magpie, young magpies, time now. I counting to the life, asking after. I'd say animal, putting spirit, nor is the moon extinguished. That's it, thank you.